Hello everyone, this is General Henry. Welcome to the Lion's Den in Prince George, British Columbia. Day 2 of the Great War, the war to end all wars except for all the other wars that came after that. We've had some feedback from my colleague Colonel Bob down in the Excited States of America, and some of the things that we were doing good and some of the things that we were missing. So one of the things that we were missing was a garrison. So if you're not in your home country, you have to have something on there, like he's okay here, he's not okay here. Like wherever there's a number there, see that territory is worth 1. If you don't put your unit on there, if you don't leave a unit there of any kind, some kind of ground unit, then, and it's called a garrison, then you don't collect for that territory. It's still your territory, but you don't collect for it, right? So like there's 3 territories in India. Like we just weren't thinking of those. We were thinking of the ones that we captured down here, but we weren't thinking of things like India. So up there, you see all those empty Russian territories. They should be okay because they're in the home country, right? But like these territories. So rather than penalize the players right now, what we're going to do is we're going to play this turn, and players are going to have to address that this turn. So next turn, they're not going to collect for it. We'll let them collect for it this turn, but next turn they're going to have to do something about that if they want to collect for that. Anyway, if you want to see how we got to this point, then go back and see the last video that I made. It's called Who Shot Franz Ferdinand? That was the event that touched off World War I. So anyway, we're ready to go here. So Italy, we just rolled for Italy. Italy has joined the Entente, or the Allies, so that happened. Panzer King cooked us breakfast, so we'll either be running to the bathroom for 20 minutes from now, or we'll be saying, wow, that was the best breakfast I ever had. I'm hoping it's that one. So we've got cards here, and I better just check nope, that's fall, winter. Just got to check and make sure we're in the right. What were we in summer of 1915?
I think that's what we moved, yeah.
Summer of 1915. Yep. Just checking to make sure I had the right cards. So anyway, Italy here. That's probably good that they got that because we snuck in and got the Japanese, and you know, like the Japanese are not too bad, right? They got just about as much income as the French do, and they got a decent navy. You know, it's not huge or anything, but it could get bigger, right, as time goes on. Especially since they don't have much of an opposition over here. Like the Americans are a ways from getting into that war, right? Anyway, so let's get to the cards here. We got to draw 2 from each of these piles. There's 1915 summer, east and west. So let's go to the first one. Laws of naval warfare. U.S. pressures European allies to respect the freedom of the seas and lift European blockade. Britain must choose one. A, remove all blockades from Germany and Austria-Hungary for the rest of the game, or B, reduce U.S. income by 2d6 IPP. Huh, that's a tough choice. We haven't really been using too many blockades on you at this point though, so. Japan and Russia cooperate. So Japan and Russia strike a deal to trade 300,000 Japanese rifles for territory and control over the Changchun Harbin Railway and navigation rights on the Sangari River. Place a Japanese roundel in northern Sakhalin Island and move any Russian units there to the nearest Russian land zone. This turn only. Japan gets +1 bonus income, and Russia can buy up to 5 infantry for 2 IPP. Choose another random event if Japan and Russia are at war. I should have just read that last sentence first. Actually, we're not. No, we are at war. I attacked you, didn't I?
Yeah.
So we can't use this card. So what happens then is we're just going to discard that card, and we have to draw another one from this pile. Let's read the last sentence first. Okay, I think we can play. Okay, Armenian partisans equipped with Russian and British arms strike. Place a damage marker in the railway in Armenia. If Britain and Russia each spend 1 IPP, place 1 attacking Russian infantry in Armenia. All right, we can play that one. So now we go to the other pile. Damascus Protocol. Sharif Hussein of Mecca plays the major powers against each other. Russia, Britain, and the Ottoman Empire must secretly bid any amount of money. That IPP is paid to the bank. The winner places 1 free attacking infantry and 1 attacking camel in Hejaz. Alrighty. And last one. Italy wants more. Italy negotiates its entry into the war. Each side can pay up to 5 IPPs for concessions to Italy. Each IPP gives the Allies +1 and central. You know what? We've already done that, so we can't do this one.
This one's, yeah, we're at war, yeah.
Yeah, so we can't do that one because Italy's already been divvied up. Manpower shortage. Subtract 1 manpower icon from each major power territory on the map. Only 1 unit could be placed in a land zone with 2 icons. Okay, so locations with 1 manpower icon still produce. Is that for the rest of the game? I think it's probably just for this round, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll call it for just for this round because it doesn't say. But anyway, that's I'll show you what that means. So like here in India, there's 3 manpower here. So that would be reduced to 2 for this turn. So they could only put 2 infantry class units or camels or cavalry there. Actually, they couldn't put a camel there. You can only put a camel in or adjacent to a desert territory. So anyway, that's what that means. And you'll see these manpower icons all over the board. So we reduced each one of them by 1. Anyway, we're gonna get on with the game here. So we'll see you next round. Okay, so we are 1915 in the fall winter. So 2 out of each pile. And we got Indian mutiny. That doesn't sound good for the British. Germany chooses 1.
So we need to have
India's army,
based on this
5th Light Infantry, revolts after learning they will be sent to fight in Turkey. Remove 1 infantry or militia from any land zone in India. Or Christmas Day insurrection. Germans incite rebellion in Calcutta. Place an attacking German infantry in Calcutta. There's that one.
At least, yeah, 2 things there.
German cruisers. German cruisers patrol the Pacific, wreaking havoc on Allied shipping. Germany may immediately place a raiding cruiser anywhere in the Pacific or Indian Ocean. Remove it at the end of the turn. Good. I already had 2 raiders in the Pacific. Tsar Nicholas leads. Nicholas II assumes an ineffective role as commander-in-chief in the field. Russian land and air units have -1 attack this turn.
Attack. Alright. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
Would have been nice.
pull the other card.
Yeah, it would have been.
Oh, never mind.
It just means I might not be able to counterattack him.
number. They called me earlier this morning, bastards. Okay, last one. Arab independence. In any of the following locations that are not occupied by at least 1 land unit, they become a neutral nation if they are not already. Okay, Oman, Trucial, Oman, Aden, Kuwait, Yemen, Southern Arabia, Najd. Place a neutral militia there. These nations cannot be influenced. So I'm guessing that's another one of those ones where?
It's here. All on the side.
So neutral's there.
Yeah. Neutral.
Saudi Arabia too?
Yep.
Yemen?
Aden,
Yep.
Oman.
So I need
So-
2 more chips.
The biggest loss is this port here in Aden.
So
Apart from
anybody can attack those. Shouldn't be any penalty then.
that- Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's take you over there. It's Germany's turn. Actually, let's do the diplomacy first. I don't get any more extra diplomacy rolls this turn, do I? I did an attrition attack last time.
Yeah, that's right.
So I paid for 2. Where's the dice? You got me 2 or 1. So we're gonna go for Norway and then Chile. Norway missed. Chile missed. Thanks for coming. So let's go over here. So what I'm doing is an attrition attack here. First, all these dice here are my, is this stuff here. This stuff is in Bavaria. They're going to shoot across the border, but the observation balloons, I got 4 of them. They're gonna kick up 4 of these infantry, and I've got 2 fighters. Their observation, they're gonna kick up those 2 heavy infantry. So there's that. That's the first attack. So you ready? So the 2 would be at 6, I guess, eh?
Two that are kicked up.
Yeah, these two. They,
Oh yeah, okay. Are they kicked up or not?
See, let's see.
But no, they first strike, their attrition hits at 2. Their
Attrition is 2, so that's 3 then, right?
Yeah, if they're kicked
Okay,
up.
so the blue dice are 3, and the red dice are 2, and the purple dice, purplish pink dice, are 1.
So you have 4 red dice.
Yep. Well,
Miss,
what did I
miss
say? The
on-
purple ones were 1?
Yeah.
Damn. This one's 2 though, so that's a hit.
1 hit.
Just 1 hit.
Okay, I gotta take off 1 militia.
Am I sure?
I think you're sure.
Damn it.
Because the 2 blue ones were 3. These ones are 2 because they're normally
Yeah,
at 1.
that's right. Okay, so anyway, there's that. Now, we also have another attack here. I'll show you where it is on the board here. So, the Russians last turn had taken Galicia here, which kind of left, these guys are down here too. So the guys that I'm attacking are here in East Poland here, right? This territory used to be 2 territories in 36. So I'm attacking from here, here, and here, and this is what it looks like. There's the Germans, and this would be also infantry, and this is the Russians, but they've also got a fortification, but it's only on, so that's something we're going to have to get some clarification on. It's only on this border right here, that fortification, so it's kind of weird, like how do you fortify against everything, right? Anyway, we're going to start rolling. So, let us take this where? Let's take it right here.
Let's do the first strikes first.
Yep. So what do I got? I got 2 artilleries. You don't have any, do you?
I have my fort.
Oh, right, okay. So, go ahead and roll your fort.
Okay. So 2 fort hits at 2. 5 I should say. Nothing.
Misses, right on. So I've got artillery at 4 and artillery at 5. So at 4, miss. At 5, miss. Shit. Shit on a stick, Batman. Cut in a glass bowl. Okay, these 2 infantry are at 3 because they're kicked up by artillery. 1 hit.
Nice.
And I got 5, 11, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. This one goes to 11.
So is that 2 hits?
At 2. 1, just 1. So 2 hits altogether.
Yeah, a lot of dice for a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, that's what happens in this game. It's tough to attack anybody.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I got 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6 infantry. So 6 infantry, normally at 4, but they're boosted up by that fortification, so +2.
Actually, they're boosted by the trench line, I thought.
Sorry, trench line. So 1, 2, 3 hits.
And then you got a militia.
And then I have a militia rolling at 4. Miss. 3 hits.
So 3. Okay.
So one thing that we haven't been sure about, but we've been doing it since the start of the
And
game.
you lose how many?
2.
2.
One thing that we've been doing since the start of the game is taking off fighters as casualties.
So you're gonna take off.
I'm gonna take
fighters.
off 2 fighters. Actually, I don't know if observation balloon works or not, but that's what we've been doing.
No,
since the-
observation balloon has to be chosen last.
Okay, all right. So
And it's not a casualty. It's just if I take over the territory, you lose the observation.
right. Okay. So I'm gonna take off 2 fighters since they cost $2, and it's really not that big of a deal to pop them back up. Actually, 1 fighter, 1 militia. There we go.
Okay. So that means he still has a trench line. 2, 4, 6. That means here. Let me just show you here. Now, if I could have gotten more casualties off him like I wanted to, and he'd gotten down to where he had less than 6 infantry, then I could have kept going. But because he's still got 6, that means it's a trench line again for the next round. So that means my attack has to stop, which sucks balls, but that's the way it is. So there's that. Now I'm going to let you go because I've got a couple of more things I got to do around the board. Okay, so We're still in the same turn. I just thought I'd do a little segment here because we've been going through some of the rules here. Like I was saying, the diplomacy part is pretty complicated, but once you learn the rules, then it's okay, right? Anyway, the question was,
Which one? This one?
there was a revolution card at some point in the game where Japan, where a neutral infantry was placed in the Philippines. That neutral infantry happened to defeat the American forces that were there. So that made the Philippines a neutral nation. Now, that does not enter the diplomacy because it happened by revolution. Then anybody could attack that with no penalty whatsoever and no declaration of war against anybody. It's a freebie for anybody to go attack it. So the Americans, of course, were going to come down and get it back. But before they did, the Japanese took it.
I'm attacking.
So we had to call Colonel Bob there because we weren't sure can the Americans take it back or not. But they can once the Americans reach 20 on their income, which they're about to do, right? So by the time they get there, they would be at 20, right? But a deeper dive into the rule book shows us that if the United States declares war on a Central Powers, Japan, that before they reach their 37 income that they have to be at to normally declare war, then they also have to take 2 Pacific Islands, 2 new ones, so not including the Philippines. They'd have to take 2 Pacific Islands of any kind that they don't already own, and they would have to take Japan down to less than $12 worth of ships. So, like that's basically 1 ship left is what they're saying. Because even 2 of the cheapest ships is $12. It has to be less than $12. So they'd have to get Japan down to 1 ship left on the board. So the Americans have to make a choice. Do I not care about joining the war in Europe? Because I'd have to spend a lot of money over here taking Japan down. Like you got to think their navy is already smaller than Japan's navy right now, right? So they'd have to build a navy, bring it across the water. By then they're already at 37 IPPs anyway, and they could declare war against Japan without having to worry about that restriction of having to take them down to the point before they could come across the water from here over to here and get involved in the war in Europe. They can't get involved in the war in Europe until they take Japan down, if they do that at 20 IPPs instead of 37. But another thing though, the Germans had Cuba there. So the Americans can enforce the Monroe Doctrine. Like the Germans didn't attack Cuba, they got it by diplomatic means. Actually, they got it with a card, right? A card told them to go and take that and put something on there and put a raider over there too, one of the cruisers with a raider thing underneath it. So the Americans were allowed to take them back with no penalty. It's not a declaration of war or anything, they're just enforcing the Monroe Doctrine. So that there's no penalty to anybody for the Americans to come down here if something was taken by diplomacy. Different story if the Germans would have, say, come down and attacked Brazil, then the Monroe Doctrine is violated. But because they had to make allowances for diplomacy, right? How could anybody do diplomacy in South America if all of a sudden the Americans went to wartime income just because you won the diplomacy battle for Argentina or whoever, right? So anyway, that's the rule. The Americans can take it back with no penalty to anybody, but they're not at war. They're still in the same state where they're ramping their way up. Now there is bonus money for people being in North or South America, so that helps them ramp up to that 37, right? Anyway, so that is an explanation of that rule. So we're in. Is there anything else that happens?
Portugal aligns to us if it's up on at least 1 step up.
Well, that hardly seems fair.
Yay!
Okay, so we're in the spring of not 2016. I keep saying that. It's 1916. I am almost 100. I'm 100 years ahead of myself. People have been saying that for minutes. Anyway, so we get the cards, and another thing before we get to the cards. This is the first fighter revolution that we have. Fighters like here. Did you remember this fighter you had over here? Okay. So the fighters, there's 4 stages of fighter development. Up until now, fighters have only been good for observation, like just basically almost useless, because they pair with artillery 1-to-1. So like it'd be one thing if you kicked up all the artillery but you don't. You just 1-to-1, right? Because apparently they can only talk to one artillery at a time. But in 1916. They evolve. So you have a choice. And I was thinking that maybe you did it at the start of your turn, but we're gonna have to do it at the start of the round and everybody do it, because as Jinx pointed out, well, that means that my fighters are better than your fighters, and I can just go fight the shit out of them, because now an upgraded fighter has observation and it has dogfighting ability. It can shoot down another plane, right? Still no ground strike yet, still no naval strike, but it can dogfight. So we all upgraded at the same time. You either had a choice. You could pay $2 to upgrade each fighter, not just $2 for your fighter fleet, but $2 for each fighter, or you lose it, because there's not 2 fighter sculpts. You're either going to use it or you're going to lose it, right? Anyway, so let's get to the cards here. It's spring of 2016. Well, I like these ones, the really short ones where you don't have to read all day. Wartime innovation. Germany, Britain, France each get 2 free tech rolls. Woohoo! All other nations get 1. Excellent. Everybody likes that one. Coaching China uprising. Again? Man, they are just not happy there, are they?
Nope.
Vietnamese revolt against the French colonization in southern Vietnam. Place 1 free attacking neutral infantry and blah, 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 blah. If Japan is Central Power independent, place the Japanese infantry instead. Okay, so the Japans are going to go against them instead. Instead of the neutral. Hush. National Protection War. I'm going to have to get this closer to me here. Here, can you read that? I don't have my glasses on.
1 to 2 Chinese restore monarchy. Yong Si-king names himself emperor and consolidates power in China. Germany and Britain each roll a d12. The highest aligns the following land zones in China: Peking, Suyan, and Hopi. All other Chinese-owned land zones become neutral land zones. Reported other non-Chinese units to the nearest friendly land zones. 3-4 decline into warlordism. Civil war inside China weakens central authority, and China fractures into regional divisions. China keeps Nanking, Shantung, and Hunan, and all others become neutral land zones. China keeps their navy. All forces outside of China are removed from the game. Or 5-6, Japan intervenes. Japan sees an opportunity to intervene in Chinese affairs. Japan may declare war on China this turn if China is neutral. Detach Guangdong and Yunnan as independent neutrals. If Japan attacks, align China to the opposing alliance of Japan or allies if Japan is independent. Add a neutral to any warlord not otherwise occupied.
Wow, that was a mouthful.
That is a lot.
I only heard half of what you said. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a way better one. We just had that card. So, Chinese labor for Russia. Russia requires Chinese labor to offset Russian manpower for service in the military. Add 1 Russian infantry to any Russian territory. So you get a free dude. Anyway, that's that. So what's going on over here? Who did something new?
Portugal. I switched Portugal across, and I'm out of Russia, so I have to use
There's a-
neutral.
Yeah, so we'll have to write that down. What's going on? There was something I was gonna say. Oh, he's actually into Germany now. Let's go over there, the bastard. I tried to attack Hong Kong here with the Japanese. I took one guy off, but then I was stopped there. Looks like the Americans are getting closer. We'll see what they decide to do. If they declare war on Japan or just what the heck they do. So yeah, the Russians came in here. They're in Saxony now. So I'm just gonna have to do something about that, aren't I? And Navies are massing up out here again. They're still pissed off that I went out and kicked them in the nuts over there for yesterday. So they're massing up. And Austria were doing really good until the Russians attacked them in Galicia there. I've drawn them out into Saxony, so hopefully he can get a foothold back. Because in behind there, Russia's got dick here, right? You look here, this is the units they have.
It would have taken them 2
And then these units over here that I've got busy right here where Warsaw is, right? So that's going on.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Americans took back Cuba over there. And the British kicked the Germans out of southern Africa down there. So that's what happened. Anyway, so we'll come back later. So it's the summer of 1916, which isn't a song, not like the summer of '69, but things are getting interesting. Now that we've got fighters, we actually had our first dogfight, which I don't think anybody got shot, did they? But you know, like you'd expect that. The first time people got to shoot at each other in a plane, it's like next time I'll get that guy. So these two planes here fought this plane right here. They actually did it over here in Saxony though. No, actually they did it in West Poland. He had a bunch of guys in Saxony, a bunch of guys over here. He attacked it for I don't know how many rounds. Oh, he could only attack it for one.
Yeah.
I lost artillery instead of losing my dude, which meant that, see, I've got 6 there, so that still constitutes a trench line. So all his guys, all of this shit here, all they were able to get off me was 2. And so therefore he wasn't able to make a second attack because I held it with 6 infantry to make a trench line. But anyway, he ran away. He didn't want to be, see, he still has Saxony here, but I'm about to take that for free, right? Britain's just building up over here. Most of the stuff they do is down over here. I'll go down over there and talk about that. The Americans there, you take a look here, they need to get up to 37, and they're at 29 right now. So they're getting pretty close. As long as nobody yells out World Star and punches Ben in the face, then they should have to take 2 turns at least to get there, right? But like if I put down a dreadnought or something for the Japanese, then that gets them. If somebody attacks a neutral, then that'll bump them up as well. So we got to be good boys this turn and not piss them off. But the Americans, you can see they're ready. Like they've got dreadnoughts over there, and they've moved across here. They're just waiting to do something, but they can't do it just yet, or they have that penalty which I spoke about earlier. Britain seems to be getting a handle on India again. Although I've still got a couple of guys in there. It's just being a pain in his ass. Ever since that revolt, and it was from one of those cards. Africa is long since gone for the Central Powers now. I don't think we'll ever get back down there when you look at it, because the Ottomans have their hands full with the Russians there. The Russians are doing really well. As you can see, none of their territory right now. He's managed to take back the few little stragglers that we got in there with. Austria has fought back, and they're doing well. Italy hasn't been much of a factor yet. I tell you, one of the things that I think needs to be tweaked in this game is the import rules. Like you look at Ottoman and the Austrians, like their fleet should have been gone by now, right? But because they're in port, they're protected, and so you have to attack the land first before you can attack the boats. And that just, I don't know, it seems like, okay, that's a good idea, but not the way it is. Like maybe it could be tweaked a little bit. We need to give that a little bit more thought. But they might just decide to go with it this way anyway. Maybe they like the fleets being protected like that. It just seems that it's way too hard to attack a fleet now because they're in port. So that's going on. Portugal has made it over to the side of the French. Through diplomacy because of the historic join date. Romania was supposed to go this turn as well, but on the diplomacy chart we've managed to take it down so that it's leaning towards us, so that's not going to happen now. I think that's just about everything on the board over here. So let's go over here and, oh, where's my cards? Summer, what's this one? That's spring. This is fall, winter. These ones?
Summer.
Okay, summer. Okay. No, that's a spring. Summer west. Okay. Here, maybe this one. Okay, yeah, this one was in the wrong spot. Okay, here we go. So I just gotta shuffle these things up. There's not too many here. Maybe we're missing some or something. I don't know. Anyway. What's that?
I hope the wind's not been blowing them away.
No, I don't think so. You'd be able to see them on the floor right here. It could be that we screwed that up a little bit, but we don't know. Anyway, so here we go. Let's check it out. Pretty light in here because the garage doors are open. So, wartime pressure. Pressure mounts for the combatants to join the war. Each major power gets 3 free diplomatic influence rolls immediately. Each power must roll on 3 separate nations, but major powers may attempt to influence the same neutral. Resolve in order of turns. Okay, we've done that before and we didn't get us anywhere because everybody just kept pushing everybody bounced back down. Japanese naval contribution. If Japan is a member of the Allies, no, they're not. If they're a member of the Central Powers, it must attack. Okay. Oh yeah, I've already drawn 2 from there. Okay. If Japan is a member of the Central Power, it must attack an Allied land zone or naval unit this turn, or engage in convoy raiding or strategic bombing. If it cannot, it'll lose 3 IPP. I think I can handle that. Okay, so the West cards. Easter Rising. Irish revolt against the British rule supported by a shipment of German arms and ammunition. Place 1 attacking German infantry in Ireland. That's good because I like chicks with red hair. Muslim Africa. If any land zone Ottoman Empire owns in Africa, add 1 infantry or 1 camel. Well, didn't I just say that we didn't have any land zones? None. Shit on a stick, that man. So we can't do that card, can we? So we have to pick a different one, right?
Maybe, or we just don't.
Well, we just can't. If you can't do a card, you pick a different
Well,
one.
you could do it. Like it's not like it's.
No, we
illegal
can't
to
do it. They don't have a land zone.
But it says if any land zone is controlled by.
I know.
All right, I would say it works.
Okay, tensions rise. European nations grow tense as the war drags on. Defense spending increases among neutrals. Add 1 infantry to each neutral in Europe in its capital if it has multiple territories. Okay, we can do that one. There we go. So that is that. There we go. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I chose from the wrong deck for the East. I was choosing the next round. So the first 2 cards that I pulled, we're gonna have to redo. Wartime innovation: Germany, Britain, France get 2 free tech rolls. All other nations get 1. We've done this already. Do you guys want to do it again?
Up to you. I'm going my way.
Because what do you want to do? You want to do this tech roll again?
No.
Everybody gets tech roll?
No, I wouldn't. That's my choice. I'd rather not.
Okay, so we've already done that card.
Ben's invested tons into factories.
The demand for nitrate from Chile, copper from Peru, and meat from Argentina makes them valuable allies. U.S. and Germany get 2 free diplomatic influence rolls on each this turn. Okay. So I'd say Germany goes and America goes and Germany goes and America goes, right? Because if I do 2 in a row on Chile,
Sure.
then I'm gonna have it, right? Okay, so let's do that. So we can do that one. And this one, Dutch irritation in the Pacific. The Allies' blockade of European waters, suspicious of Islamic newspapers, and Dutch harboring of the SMS Emden in the Pacific creates animosity with the Allies. Netherlands moves 1 giant step toward Germany on the diplomacy chart. Move 2 steps forward if Germany has not used unrestricted warfare. Okay then. So then these cards are done over here.
What's Dutch got? Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta go figure this out now. The Americans are just chomping at the bit. We're getting to the end of 19, 16, and so this is the fall-winter turn. The Americans are only 2 away, so unless they trip over themselves and only roll a 1,
on their next recruitment roll. They should be into the war 2 turns from now. We've been very careful not to do anything that would move them along. But anyway, they're getting there. Well, we were having dinner earlier and talking about it, and you know, like we think that if Japan didn't go to the Central Powers, this game would be a much different game. The Allies probably would have been overwhelmingly winning this game right now. As it is, it's pretty close to even. I'd say slightly in favor of the Allies right now. I tell you, it's really hard to attack in this game.
Okay.
Because there isn't the offensive weapons that you have in the World War II game, right? Like you don't have all those planes, you don't have tanks and all that stuff. Mostly it's just dudes in infantry here, and you're limited in the number of rounds that you can attack. So it's really difficult to get anywhere, and as it should be though, like because that's the way World War I was. So this last turn, Turkey did manage to take back that territory that they lost. Plus they took out the fleet that was up there, the Russian fleet. There was a revolt up there in Ireland, and the British squashed that.
I see what you mean. I don't know if I have sufficient.
And let's just go around to the other side there.
Maybe. Well, I could do it like that. Yeah, you could.
So, like this hardly ever moves. All we've been doing is attrition attacks. So just bombarding the other guys without moving in. Because look at all these guys here. In a trench, you're +2 with your infantry, right? Like it's suicide for either one of us to attack the other one, right? So that kind of sucks, but that is what it is, you know. Now, Galatia, you see that right there in the gray there. That fell. That was a pretty big battle. That just fell to the Russians just now. I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to take a look at trying to take those guys out. Otherwise, they're just gonna go hog wild down there in Austria. We'll see though if I can even do that, right? Anyway, so that's where we're sitting right now. We're just gonna go over and do the cards now. This time I looked ahead of time, make sure I had the right cards, instead of just digging them out at the time. So, you listening, guys?
Sure.
Japanese naval contribution. That sounds cool. If they're a member of the Allies or not. If they're a member of the Central Power, they must attack now. Didn't we just? Oh, I know what it was. We did pull this card, but it was the wrong time. So I did shake up these cards or shuffle them. So this was a card that we'd had last time, but we couldn't use it because it was the wrong card. It was the wrong turn. So I'm gonna have to attack somebody with the Japanese. And Chinese disorder. Disorder in China leads warlords weak to foreign influence. Align Xinjiang and all Chinese units there to Russia. Align Peking and all Chinese units there to Japan. Align Guangdong and all Chinese units there to Germany. If this results in units of different alliances being present in a land zone, resolve combat immediately until only one alliance remains. Add a neutral to any warlord not otherwise occupied. Okay, so China has just been decimated, and they haven't even rolled a dice yet this game. Easter Rising. Oh, sorry, we just had that one. Yeah. We've already used that one. That was the Irish thing. Black Tom incident. The Black Tom explosion on July 30th, 1916 in Jersey City, New Jersey was an act of sabotage by German agents to destroy U.S.-made munitions. That were to be supplied to the Allies in World War I. Add 2 IPP to the U.S. income. If the U.S. is at war, add 1 militia to the northeast. So that takes you to war.
Yep.
To a position of where you can declare war. If you want. You know there's 3 choices, right? Yeah. Okay, so there's that one. And last one. German heavy bombers advanced 2 stages on the technology chart. If Germany already has heavy bomber technology, add a heavy bomber to the place humans box. Okay, I can do that. I don't have it yet, so I'm going to move that up. I think it's only on stage 1, so that'll take me to stage 3. It'll give me something else. I wasn't sure what to go for anymore.
And so I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, it's
so
not
we're
huge.
just
So
about
I'm
ready to
using
call it a day
chlorine
here.
gas as well, so it's +1.
Been a long day.
So that's 7. So 7.
We just finishing off the Russians here, and then we got the
First
Americans and the
So
Italians.
it's into mountains.
I have 5 units.
And then that'll be it for the
It's
day.
into mountains, so it's
And we'll
still
come back
at
tomorrow. We'd
4.
hoped to get through a little bit more today,
So
but
here's 4.
bigger battles and
2
stuff,
hits.
you know,
I
like
got
it takes
artillery
longer.
first strike.
Plus, we spent a lot of time today
It's on this
discussing
side
the
of the
rules.
border.
Oh, sorry. We're looking wrong thing.
I'm going
both
into
with
this one
Colonel Bob
Okay, so
and
so it's just 4
amongst
units.
4
ourselves.
units, yeah.
Okay.
So 2
Because
first
we
strikes.
think that we were
So down
doing
to-
a couple of things
down to
wrong,
2
and so
Okay.
we studied the rules
Well, that's easy,
and
yeah.
argued a bit about it.
So
and
1, 2,
everything,
3
and-
at 2.
and kind of came to the where
One hit.
it's supposed to be. But
And-
that takes time, right? When you're trying to sort through these things.
4,
So we're not sure that we played the game entirely correct the whole
4
time.
at 2.
But I don't know that anybody would
Yes.
with
So yeah, it's just,
as hefty a
one
rule
hit.
set as this
Yeah, I got 1
without
hit.
an
You got-
expert
you got
rule
1 hit?
person
Yeah.
with you. So
I'm
it
down
was
to 1.
great that we had somebody that we
You're down
could
to 1
call,
yet.
but
Okay, I'm gonna go.
somebody that's showing you how to do it, because you think you know, and so you don't need to ask, and
7.
you're not always right about it.
1 hit. So you're done.
So it's been a long day, that's for sure. One thing that we're kind of a consensus between the 4 of us is that it's really, really hard to attack anybody in this game. Because the offense is so minimal, right? Like all you've got is infantry and artillery and not much else, right? Ships are ships, like ships can attack and stuff. But even then, with ships being in port, like there's still an Ottoman and a Austrian navy, and you'd think they'd be gone that by now. So anyway, the British Navy did take out the Japanese Navy here. The Japanese were going to take out the American Navy, but then we realized
This one's on
that
board.
the British were going before the Japanese. Even though the German player is playing them, in the rule book it says that the Austrian player is supposed to play them. So basically how it breaks down is that the Austrian player would play 3 countries, and Germany would only play Germany. So, I mean, it made sense to us to break it up 2 and 2, but because the rules said that they were supposed to go with the Austrians, that put them in behind the British. Otherwise, I think that the Japanese would have wiped out that American Navy right there. Instead, the British wiped them out. So that was a drag. I did try to, I kind of got frustrated and tried an attack on the Western Front. And there's just no way. Like when there's that much stuff in there, and you got +2 for everything. Like he had a, here, let me just put this over here with me. When you've got a fortification there, like you did as well, then it's not just your infantry that's bumped up by 2, it's also your artillery. And so, like I think just even one round there with just his infantry, he got me 16 hits. And so, like that's not including the artillery shots he hit me with. So probably close to 25 hits he got off me, and I only got, I don't know what, 5, 6 hits on
I
you.
don't know.
Like not many. So there's no way you can attack somebody in this game as it is. Like we'll try to recommend some changes. Maybe we've been doing some things wrong. We'll see. But it's so hard to attack people in this game, on the ground anyway. We're used to the other game, like the 36, where you've got the aircraft and like with tanks and stuff, you got things that actually have offensive power. But in this game, there just isn't much offensive power. There's some things like the artillery is more powerful, and that's good. And I think that isn't cavalry and camels more powerful than they would be in the other game? They're on defense
3-3,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
3-3 instead of 3-2. So again, better defense than but yeah, like we expected that the Allied ships would take over, and they are, as you can see here. Like you see how many Allied ships, and they just took out Denmark here. So now that opens the Denmark Strait. So next turn they'll be able to go in and take out that German Navy. And then Germany won't be long for this war because they got a ton of transports in there too, right? And they'll be stopping or dropping stuff off in there. Like if we weren't playtesting, I'd say let's just surrender, right? But we've still got another day and we're going to play longer, right? To keep going. I think the funnest part of the game so far, for me anyway, has been the cards. You know, cards that you wouldn't expect. Oh, look at this one, you know. Look what we get to do. Or, oh my God, look what just happened to me. You know, it's just the unexpected kind of things that that get thrown at you or thrown at all the players. And so, to me, that was fun, right? I think that 36 could benefit from something like that too, some kind of card deck, you know, even as an expansion set or something that threw in events like that. That would be fun. So that's been great, that part. Of course, they need to be refined, you know, like that's not a real deck. That was something I printed out on paper and cut out myself, and they're not exactly perfect, are they? Not all of them are same size or anything. But I mean, you know, like once that's done nicer, then that might be the funnest part of the whole game is that. But anyway, so we're just about to wrap it up for the day. I think the Americans are going to go on the Italians. That doesn't take long though. The Americans I think they're just declaring war now. I'm not sure.
Yep.
You are? You sure you don't want to sue for peace? That'd be awesome. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I should be back tomorrow. So, from the Lion's Den in Prince George, British Columbia, take care everyone. See you tomorrow.